So in our community specifically, I feel like a lot of these issues that we talk about are actually our issues and not issues.
And nobody else is.
Yeah, there are issues because we haven't fixed the problem.
Yeah, we
the
just
problem
complain
is,
about it.
It's our education. We're mad at the system, so we don't utilize it.
Yeah.
Why? It's there for us to utilize.
It's like we should be making the system our bitch.
Our bitch.
But we don't because we're still mad. You guys did this to us, so we're not going to play with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to play. You guys don't have to. But when I'm with them,
playing still.
Yeah.
Who else
start
is in?
playing.
Yeah.
Mic check. Welcome back to another episode of Shalisa Marie Radio. If you are new here, I am your host, Shalisa Marie.
I'm your co-host, Patriciana.
It's your girl, I'm a bad bee.
It's Shayciana.
And we are also at the table with the amazing Janelle. What's your last name? Wardillion?
I am a chameleon, but we're there.
We're dilly.
Welcome to the table of Shalisa Marie Radio.
Yes.
I will butcher. I don't want to fuck it up again, so you know. Before we get into anything, I just want you guys to join us in taking a shot because this episode we are talking about the greatest love of all for some, which is money.
The root of all evil. That's what we're talking about.
She said greatest love of all. I
In a good way. In a good way.
Yeah.
Shot o'clock.
So, shot o'clock.
Shot o'clock. We haven't done shot o'clock in so long.
Yeah. Did you guys hear that? It's the bell.
Shot o'clock.
The bell's been out. It was broken. We just got it fixed, guys.
You'll hear it when you watch it.
All right.
Shot o'clock.
Cheers to talking
Cheers to
about
more
handling money the right way, making investments, and everything in between.
More money, less problems.
Period.
Okay, guys, money gives me structure. So can I just say, next time we clink glasses, not over the laptop.
Yes.
I
was thinking
having
that too.
anxiety.
I was like, this was a bad move, but
Yeah, it actually is really smooth.
It's smooth, but
yeah, it is. I'm actually good.
it's cognac? Cognac? Whatever.
Cognac?
Cognac?
It's Napoleon Hill.
Is that the name brand?
It's brandy.
Yes,
That's
Yeah.
what to say.
and they have the blue one too. It's also very smooth.
Anyways, we're cutting this out because they're not paying
Yeah.
us.
True, guys.
Yeah, they're not in it.
Okay.
Okay, so today we are going to be speaking about money. Before we get into anything, Janelle, please tell them what you do, how you got started, and what you're here to teach us today.
So perfect. So for me, I'm someone who, I'm just like you guys. Like I work a 9-to-5 job, just like that. But how I got started was I had a friend who cared about me enough to tell me what he was
Just
doing.
speak into the mic. just
I'm
a
sorry.
little.
I have a small voice.
Yeah, come
I have a
nice
small
and
voice
close.
and a big body. It's weird.
Yeah, literally, don't you can talk right into it.
Okay. So for me, when I got started, I was working a regular 9-to-5 like I am now. But I had a friend who cared enough about me to break my mental on what it was stuck in. So for me, I thought, oh, I need a job. And then I take that money and I put it away in my savings account. And maybe in 40, 50 years, like, I'll be all right.
Yeah.
But he found something and he brought it to me. He was like, listen, there's people making money out of thin air. And I was like, how? And he was like,
How?
He's like, there's markets, there's crypto, there's stocks, there's so many things. It's not just a job. So that set me on a tilt-a-whirl. Plus, when I was 19, I was a very avid reader. I still am. More of an avid reader now. But my boss, he noticed I was reading a lot, and he told me I was wasting my time because I love Twilight, so I just kept rereading the same
I
book.
love Twilight.
Right?
That was the first like long
book
like
series.
chapter series I actually freaking read
And finished.
Yeah, and finished. I loved it.
The thing is, like, when you read a book that many times that has no actual value past the
yeah.
high school lessons you can take from it, you're
For
not
sure.
actually growing. So he was like, I know that you love that, but I'm going to give you something else. And he gave me Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I read that, and I started learning what assets and liabilities and the 4 quadrant and all that stuff. And I realized, like, bro, there's a whole world out there that we're not aware of, and our parents aren't aware of. So I can't go to them and ask them because they don't know.
Facts.
So it was like, who do I go to? So I went to the books, and then my friend showed me that, and it all started connecting. And I just started looking and finding things, and things started coming to me. So me and consciousness work together, and it's blessed.
That's perfect. And
Love
that's
that.
what we're here to learn today. So thank you so much for coming on the show, because I think money and investments and savings and stocks, a lot of people don't really even know how to read stocks. So I would love if you could teach us that today, because I don't know shit about stocks either. So we'll jump into it.
Yeah, I want to ask you, in regards to like money, there's a lot of connotations behind money, and again, root of all evil, like you
Yeah,
were saying
how we
before,
started it.
the greatest love of all. So from your perspective, where do you think that is coming from, and how do we kind of like work alongside money without making it feel like
Glorifying it.
yeah, without making it feel like it's the end
Runs
all,
our
be all,
life, you know?
I think it's very much comes down to what you guys said. It's the love of money is the root of all evil. It's not the love of it, because it's not the love of it that's the problem. It's being in love with it that's the problem, right? Because it can't give back to you. It can only take from you. You get money and you get rid of it, right? So what is it leaving you with? Nothing.
Nothing.
So you're empty, right? So it's not the love of money that's the problem. It's being in love with it that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because it can't give back to you. So you're empty.
Right.
So it's shifting your paradigm on its use for you. It's not meant to fulfill you or bring you happiness. It's meant to make those things easier.
Yeah. Supply your needs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a tool.
a tool.
It's not a partner.
So if a person didn't know jack shit about investing or anything like that, like you were, how long ago? How would they, like, where would they start or go about starting with investing that's safe enough for them to not really, like, lose too much if they're not a big risk taker?
I love this question because for me, this question always makes me think too. When I first started getting into this, I would tell people, listen, this is what I'm doing. You need to do this too. But then I started realizing as I grew, it's not about that. It's about what you're interested in. So I always say, look at your body right now. What are you wearing? What are you
The best
using?
of the best, baby.
The best of the best. So you feel me?
Yeah.
So you're going to keep buying the best of the best.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're going to keep buying the best of the best, use that same knowledge when you're buying stocks or cryptos or currencies. What are you going to use? What resonates with your soul? Right? Because that is what's going to fill you.
But with big risk taking can also come like big losses
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
well.
So what would be like the do's and don'ts of investing for someone who's just starting? What are like things that we should know before going into it?
So I'll give you 3 do's, 3 don'ts. 3 do's. Do find a mentor. Because a lot of people think they can just go into this game and do it, but you're going to learn the same way they did, which is the hard way. So you can work smarter, not harder, and find a mentor, and they can show you what they had to do so you don't have to, right?
Yeah.
Or that's the first do I'd say. Do find a mentor. The second do I would say is do forget everything you know. because what you know got you to where you are, which is excellent because you're here and you're asking the questions, right?
Yeah.
But it's not going to take you past now.
Right.
So forget what you were so you can become anew. That's second do. The third do I'd say is do be open to learning now. So now that you had a platform, you blew it up, right? That old mindset, it's exploded. There's nothing left. There's debris. So now I'd say be open to that information and be open to building anew and changing your paradigm because we all have things that have affected us, like traumas, right? So say I'm telling you like, oh my gosh, it makes more sense to invest most of your money in this than a savings account. But that's with me saying that I don't know your trauma. So maybe you had a situation where your parents had investments, but they needed that money in the savings account. You're going to be explaining to me why the savings is important because I don't understand why it was important to you.
Yeah, can we?
Yeah.
Yeah, can we really get into that? Actually,
That's huge.
Yeah, because I think Janelle being like my bestie. You've definitely you've definitely taught me a lot, and I'm not someone who would say I was the most financially inclined in the slightest. Not to say I didn't necessarily come from a family that was, but there's certain things that ideas that I had in my mind about money that I didn't realize were affecting me now and like currently. So I guess like what do you think like speaking of like I'm trying to think like for example, like trauma, you
Yes.
know, and trauma behind money. Like, what are some examples, I guess, that you could come up with, and how do you change that paradigm, you know, in terms of like trauma when it comes to money? Because for me personally, it was always like, oh, like we never had enough. Right? Like it was always like save everything. Like it was
Save-
like
literally.
the juice,
Save
you can have
everything.
one glass of juice and then tomorrow you can have another
But I
glass
feel like
of
that's
juice.
the only thing our parents taught us was to save
Was
your
to
money.
save.
But what does that look like? Like, what
Yeah.
does that mean? Save your money, you know? And
Yeah,
I wanted to add to your dues.
We didn't
When
get
you
to the
do start
don'ts.
investing, always buy low and sell high. Do
High
not
five.
because
Okay.
a lot of people buy high and then sell low. So
very
you're not
much what she's
making
saying.
a
What do you
profit.
mean by that, though?
When you're buying a stock, buy
Okay.
it low.
Okay.
Don't buy it when it's high because you're not going to make anything off of it.
So interesting that you say that. So on that note, I'd also say don't buy it when your friends are telling you to buy it because that's probably when it's high. Because
Exactly.
they're not investors,
Yeah.
so how do they know about it?
Yeah,
You
that's
get what I'm
true.
saying?
Yeah.
They heard
So,
about
like,
it because
It's
it's doing
popular
well.
right now, yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's a
you're gonna know
trendy
about
thing.
it when it's popular.
Yeah.
Right?
After it's already moved.
Yeah.
So what
for-
happens?
Yeah. No, sorry. I have just
No,
a
go
quick
ahead,
question.
go
Just for you guys to steal all my questions.
They're good, eh?
I feel like you're gonna ask the one I'm gonna ask anyway.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask what investments are available for an average person.
exactly.
So I would say the first investment that anyone should make is their cell phone and then their laptop, right? And if they happen to be the same company, double down because you obviously like it
Yeah.
and you believe in it. And if you
'Cause
look
you're
around
paying
your
for it.
peer circle and they'll have the same thing, you're onto something.
Why is it important to invest in things that you believe in?
Because if you don't believe in it, you won't be able to hold on to it when things go wrong because you won't know why you have it.
and you won't really have an interest in it, so you're not gonna pay attention to it. Like
Exactly.
for me,
The
it would be
value.
like clothes, right?
So, say I have something that I'm interested in. I'm telling you about it, right? Oh my gosh, buy this, right? I'm telling you it's gonna go to from $0 to $1,000, but you actually have no idea about it. It goes up to 500 and then drops back down to 2. So you saw your money go vroom and then back down. So you're scared now. So you sell. I already told you it was going to 1,000 because I did the research. But because you don't understand why you're in it,
You're gonna put.
you're gonna pull out based on the emotions you're feeling because you don't know why.
yeah, don't make decisions on emotions. That's a good don't.
Right?
Yeah.
It's very much when you're approaching things. If you're telling someone, oh, I feel this way about it, they already know it's not rational because feelings aren't rational. It's based on you. If you say, I'm thinking about it, they'll listen to it because you thought about it. So now we can talk.
I feel like that can go for life situations
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I always say the market is always a reflection of you, like how you act with your stocks, your money and stuff. It's a reflection of you because it's dependent on you. So your anxieties that you see with your stocks is usually the things you haven't dealt with yourself.
Facts.
So look in to go out.
Wait, so go back to Brittany's trauma. Just like
full circle.
you never had enough money. Like there was never enough money in your household growing
Yeah.
up.
Or
so
or feeling like there was never
Right.
enough. This kind
Yeah.
of scarcity mindset.
So how do you find
How
enough
do you
to
get
buy
out of that
stocks?
scarcity mindset?
Right. You start thinking of your future self. Because at the moment when you're scared to invest in your future, you're only taking care of your present.
right.
And that's not loving yourself fully because you haven't even seen your full self. Because if you did, you'd invest for the future because you are going to be there.
Yeah.
And scared money
So
don't make money, right?
Exactly. And scared decisions don't make things happen either.
Yeah.
So, because you don't make them. So it comes down to the fact of I love myself enough to see my future and I'm going to plan for that future. And I've created it.
I love that. So if the stock were to go down, right? Like you said, from 100 to 2, how does someone know, like,
You mean
not
2 to 1?
Sorry,
200 to 100?
200 to 1, or just
So,
going
like,
down,
say it dropped 50%.
like crazy, right? Like, how does a person know when not to sell it? Like, even if they know about the product, or when to just like leave your money there and just let it go back up. Like, how do you like?
Again, it's
map
all
that
up to
out?
you. It's a freaking game.
It's a gamble.
It's not a gamble. See, people think that because y'all haven't done the research. If you know what the company's doing, you know what it plans, how it's going to get out of debt, all that stuff, you're not scared because you know what they're doing. If you think it's a gamble, it's because you're gambling. Not the market is not gambling.
So it's about research.
You are.
Yeah.
Where do
It's
you
how
look for it?
knowledgeable
Yeah.
you are, I guess,
Yeah.
on what
So
you're...
say when you guys bought these mics and this laptop and this camera and that, you did your research, no?
Yeah.
You just made sure it would be the best of what you could get. So do the same thing when you buy stocks. Make sure it's the best of what you could get.
But I'd say if you're not really familiar with stocks yet, like for me personally, I wasn't. So when I started, I did a mutual fund. So it's like your bank has packages of multiple stocks in a profile or portfolio, I mean, and then like you look at those portfolios. So it'd be like one is like health, the other one is like automotive, and it's like you can do it within Canada or you can do it international. And then you decide like, oh, like this appeals to me more. And then there's like the risk factors. So if you want to take high risk, that means that like you might lose more in the end, but there's also a bigger return at the end of the year that you're gonna get.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah.
High risk mutual funds never mean you're gonna lose more in the end. They just mean you might lose more right now.
Yeah. Okay.
If you
There
hold
go.
on for
Yeah.
a long time, it'll always recover.
Yeah.
And they show you that over time, right?
Yeah.
It's simply if you are someone who can't hold it down,
Exactly.
you'll see it go
So, like us, it would be good for us to do high risk because we're young. We have no one
Time.
to support, whatever. But like someone that's like has 5 kids, they're probably not going to do high risk because they have to worry about their kids. If
Yeah.
they lose that
They
money
need
right
it now.
now, they're fucked, right?
Yeah.
And on that note, it's also, that's a paradigm thing, right? So you just said if they need that money right now, but you don't have to think all of it.
Yeah.
It's portioned.
Yeah.
So it's about starting, right? If I have $20, I don't need to save 20. I could put away 2. And that may not seem like a
Yeah.
lot, but I put away 2 100,000
Still
times.
going to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 200,000. So it's like,
100%.
you know what I'm saying? It's about starting. So once you start thinking. And once you start thinking, you start seeing new possibilities. You start seeing new possibilities, your reality changes. When your reality changes, your life changes. So it's just about opening those doors, starting, so that way you can start to grow and see and learn.
It's literally your mindset. It's like a training up there.
Yeah. And on the note of mindset, don't even think about it as mindset, because when
It's a
you think about
lifestyle.
mindset, your mindset, you're not open to change.
Okay.
So it's a
And it makes
way
it
of
harder,
thinking.
possibly.
Yeah, it's a way of operating. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
How do you want to operate? That's what I always ask people. How would you like to operate? This way or that way? Because if it's this way, then do that. But if it's this way, then open up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So do you agree with like mutual funds?
I agree that it's a good place to start.
Okay.
If you're someone who has no idea about finances and someone shows you this and it sparked that in you, I don't care. I'm glad it sparked. But on the note of that is still not doing the research yourself, because you're still trusting on someone else to do it for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's another thing.
So-
and then at the end of the year,
Go
you
ahead.
still have to pay them, right? So, yeah, it's all up to you. But yeah,
Yeah.
it is a good place
Okay.
to start because
Yeah.
like you can
That's
look
where I
into
started,
it.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
you started. So obviously it's a good place to start.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Do the banks like break down the categories
Yeah.
within?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just have to
And
set
you
up,
can
like,
go
an appointment.
online, and you can go online,
Okay.
and you could see it yourself.
I'm not speaking against them either, but just remember that the banks never once tried to make money for you. So just remember that, right? So they're
Huge.
still not going to be making money for you. It's always about them.
Yeah.
So just keep that same mindset. When you're your own investor, it's always about you. So just like you have your own interests, they have their own interests. Your financial advisor has their own interest.
Yep.
There's a whole pipeline going on.
Yeah.
Of
You're
own
the
interest.
last on the
Everyone
end.
benefits
Yeah,
off of
you're
you.
literally
But it's
the
your
last.
money that
Yeah,
you're
You're
playing
not-
with.
exactly. How
Exactly.
fucked is that?
Yeah.
And that's why you have to mind your own business, because if you don't mind your own business, your business is going to blow up because your mind wasn't there. So who was minding it?
Yeah.
Could go off.
Them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about credit.
Credit.
Yeah, the importance in credit. I feel like
I'm glad you hit
we're
me with that.
just our generation is just kind of now tapping into how important credit is for your future home, and everything that you want to have in your name in the future. When you're
I
an
wish they
adult.
taught that stuff in school.
Right?
They are now, actually.
Really? Okay,
like,
thank God.
There's like, because I'm working with this kid right now, and he's doing like, I guess you have to request it. It's not really like in the curriculum, but it's like everyday math skills. So like he's learning about like fuel, credit, banking, shit like that. And I'm like, wow, like I wish
Okay,
I
that's
learned
good.
this
I
in
actually
school.
I kind of
So
did
important.
learn that in grade 6. My teacher did this whole it was a whole thing. We'll talk about it after, but it was basically like he gave us money and then we had to like build a life. And it was really cool. It actually taught us
That's
a lot. I forget the name
practical,
of
like-
it, but it was like
I did
it was
that
like
too in
practically
family
like,
living.
Kind of like Monopoly or like the game of
kind
life.
of yeah. But like it
Good
was
game.
real like money
Yeah.
and
I
love that
everything.
game.
Yeah.
And those games are good because they start to get you thinking on what's possible for you. And once you can see possibilities, it's endless, right?
Yeah.
Endless.
So how important? What is credit?
Credit,
What is
right?
credit?
So credit is when you think of credit, don't even think of it as, oh my gosh, it's not my money. Think of it as the system. We are created on a debt-based system. So the system needs debt in order to function. So credit is good and bad depending on how you use it.
Yep.
If you use it like the rich use it, it's good for you because they have good credit. Their credit makes them money. If you use it like we use it, whereas we're constantly paying to credit because we're borrowing what we don't have, in the sense that we know we don't have it. So we're overspending even what we don't have. We're deficiting. If you're using it that way, not good.
Can you use an example for that?
So I'm using a credit to start a business. Say I take a loan, right? A $5K loan, and I start a car wash business, right? And I'm getting, let's say I'm getting 6 to 7 customers a day, and $200 a car, because I'm doing a full detail, right? I'm bringing in about, I said 6 cars, so 1,200 whatever a day. So 1,200 a day. 7 days a week. I'm working 7 days a week on my own because I'm like, okay, bet I got this loan for free, so I'm gonna work super hard, right? When I'm bringing in all that money and it's overcompensating for the loan, that's good credit.
Okay.
Because now I'm making money off money I didn't even have.
Yeah.
It's free.
Whereas
then
if
your
you
debt's
go on
paid
like
and
a
now
shopping
you're-
spree.
Now you're paid.
yeah, pretty much.
And
that,
and the
you're just-
shopping spree,
yeah.
like it's the same thing as money. It's a love of nothing. You love your clothes, but what do they provide you?
warmth.
Warmth. Cool.
Cool.
He's
That's a great
works
way
in
to look at
deposit.
it.
Yeah.
But
Which
that's
one?
on that note though of warmth. At what point are you warm? And then at what point do you keep buying past warm?
I read that in a book, like The
don't.
Mastery of Love. It was like, it's all like a mind thing. Like you think that you need more clothes because your mind's telling you that you need more clothes, but you just need something to put on your back, right? So that you're not cold. You don't necessarily
Need
need.
it.
Yeah, it was fucked. It really
You
hit
read The
me.
Mastery of Love?
Like I
Like
don't want to hear
10
that.
times.
That was sarcasm. Got
Because I
that.
talk about it all the
No,
time.
that book is so
Have
No,
you
good.
read
it's
it?
literally my favorite book.
Have you read it?
Just the first chapter. I haven't even
See,
got back
that's
into
why
it.
you don't get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Well, she mentioned on the last one, she said something about something else, and it was from the book, and she was like, and I was like, oh, Mastery Love.
Mastery of Love.
Oh, you that's cool.
Because
Speaks
I
facts.
like
That's
remember
cool.
it. Once I read it and she's speaking about it a
Then
lot,
you're
like I'm
like,
like,
oh,
oh, okay.
okay.
But she's spoken about it so much, it's like, should I read it? Cause
Yes.
Yes,
It's
you
all
still should
there.
read it because
Yes.
it's your perspective. I'm just
Yeah.
speaking from what I
She's
got.
speaking from, you're learning from her.
You might
but-
see something else that is like, oh yeah, I
Touches
remember
you
that, but it
differently.
didn't really
And
resonate.
it's the same thing like that. Spin that back to money now. Same
Yeah,
way.
clicks right there.
Why are you gonna look at them when you can look at you? You're good looking, bro.
Yeah.
I know.
I know that.
Take a look.
So what can credit get you?
So credit can get you
In a lot
everything.
of trouble.
Anywhere,
Everything. Anything
It's
you
real
want.
though.
You
credit
need it for
can get
everything.
you everything,
Yeah.
right?
Cell
Yeah,
phone
like credit
to a
is the real
house.
money.
It's interesting because they tell you to get a job to make money, and you can stack your money. But if you don't have credit, you can't get anything.
Of course.
Exactly.
So what should you actually be building?
Wow, they
your
rigged-
money or
they-
your credit?
They rigged
They
it.
ripped it.
They rigged
Holy
this whole
shit.
shit.
I worked at Dairy Queen for 5 years.
I hope you're in the
I could
800
have
club.
just like basically taken out a credit card, you know, build something up, get the money
No,
back,
get
and I'm
out.
blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as you're
That's
able to.
crazy.
What?
And
Wow.
where's that money from Dairy Queen?
It's gone. It went into
Nobody-
and you know
I
where,
ate it.
You know where the Dairy Queen money went? Into the institution of university.
Yeah, right. And how much?
Right back
is,
to them.
I actually took this program at McGill, and it was on finance because I was freaking shit at my finances too, you know. But like, I got my RSP, like my TFSA, so I was like, okay,
Which
like,
are all
let
so
me
important.
actually,
No, we're gonna
like,
talk
yeah.
about that.
But I'm like, let me actually know like what my financial advisor is talking about before I go back to him and be like,
And be
yeah,
like,
I want to
"Hey,
do
help
this,
me."
this, and this, yeah. So that like, and then like he helped me like plan out like, okay, if you want a house, you need to do this, 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 or if you want to buy a condo, and this, and like actually put it into like money perspective. And I'm like, I'm fucked.
Okay, so can you tell us what he said? Like what it like how do you attain a home?
Okay, because he's
Credit.
like, okay, do you want to like live in Markham? And I said, honestly, I don't know, but let's strategize if I were to live in Markham, right? He's like, okay, so to buy a house in Markham is probably what, like between $800,000 and $1 million, right? You have to have
Jesus.
so like pretty much I would need $150,000 to drop
Down payment.
yeah, as a down payment.
So, who has that?
You have to
Who
make.
are you telling?
guys, why
So
don't
that
you
means-
have it? Why don't you have it? Let's ask the real question.
that's true.
Why don't you guys have $100,000? 'Cause you work a job.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you
but
work
they
a
don't get
job
paid
and you don't
that.
invest. You're just working a job.
Yeah, and
So
spending
you're
it.
always going to be working. So until you start making that money work for you, if you're not making money when you sleep, you work
Yeah,
until you
that's what-
die. What did I
yeah.
say? Warren Buffett?
Yeah.
It's real because
facts.
they're constantly making money.
And that's how they're like, you know, you can work your job, you can do your career or whatever, but if
Right.
you're not doing more
Yeah.
on the back end.
If you're just doing the
And
bare
that's
minimum.
what he was saying. He was like, yeah, like you love your job and stuff like that, but like, is it getting you to where you need to get to? Like, and then we talked about it. Like, you need 7 forms of income to be a millionaire,
It's not
right?
7.
You
What
I'm
is
going to
it?
interrupt real quick.
okay?
Look at Wall Street Trapper. You guys should check him out.
Wall
Excellent
Wall
guy.
Street Trap?
Wall Street Trapper. You're so
on
funny.
YouTube.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Yeah, honestly at them.
Probably
Yeah,
on YouTube.
we're adding Wall Street Trapper.
Wall Street
because-
Honestly
Trapper.
at them.
Amazing.
And
And
maybe they'll
honestly,
watch us.
he'll exactly. Hopefully, 'cause I'm trying to meet
I'ma
you.
follow him.
I'm trying to meet you, brother. So Wall Street Trapper, he said something so key on that. I forgot. Sorry, spin me
The
back.
7 forms
said
of
Seven forms of income.
Yeah.
He said him and the master investor. So Ian Dunlap, check him out too. Amazing. He said, if you look at any company, how much products do they have?
A bunch.
Exactly. So why do you keep getting stuck on 7 if all these companies are not stuck on 7? They all have more than 7.
That's true.
So why do we think it's 7? Oh, that is another scheme.
So you're saying we
7
shouldn't
incomes.
be limiting ourselves with the idea that like we need to reach 7 in order
See,
to, and
It can
instead,
be way more than 7.
One
pretty
more
much.
comment too. When I said 7 incomes, you assumed I thought I said 7 businesses.
Yeah,
No,
that's
not
what I'm
saying
thinking. I'm like, what
business.
I know what you mean by
Okay.
income.
Products.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
So
how
merch.
you're getting money.
This
in.
is one
Platforms.
business, right?
Yeah.
There's so many avenues to make money here. Say I wanted to come here, right? Say they invited me here, guys. Don't worry. But say I wanted to come here. And I was like,
We didn't kidnap her.
and I was like,
Don't worry,
guys, here's $100. Please put me on your show.
She's chained to the
She's changed the table, right? $200, maybe 3, please. I got something to say, right? There is so many people who want something to say but don't have a platform. But you don't yet see what your platform can give people, right? You're not
Yeah,
valuing it at that
yeah.
price, so there's no price. It's free, so I
Yeah.
came here for free. But you give
Yeah.
it a price, and I would have paid, right? Because I'm going to be speaking to so many people.
Noted for next time.
You feel me?
No, but it's true. It's
Yeah.
like you. It's like,
I-
it comes
I'm-
down to like you make your price. You decide what your
What your
value
value
is,
is.
right? Like at the end of the day.
Take
so.
in situation, right? What am
like,
I bringing?
fucked up.
to the
Damn, I
table?
fucked up.
Right? Take
20
this in.
episodes deep.
What am I bringing to the table versus what are you? Right? If you take in the situation, no one knows me yet, right? I haven't ever went live. My friends know me as their financial advisor, but I've never went live. No one knows me. I come on this platform and I have all your viewers. What did you bring me?
Book now.
Book now.
Book now.
You feel me? It's down to the same viewers. I've been watching your guys' show from time because Brittany put me on, and I love the energy and vibe and the new conversations. It makes me spin when I watch it,
Yay.
right?
Thank you.
And it's interesting because like I would buy merch. You guys don't have merch,
We don't have merch.
right? And
You
it
buy
goes-
merch?
It's listen. You
I would buy
have
merch.
Put our
yeah.
faces on
I've been
it.
thinking about
a
merch
track
still.
pant. Listen, track pants,
Things
a sweater,
that we say,
t-shirt,
slogans.
headband,
Yo, shot o'clock.
shot glass.
Yeah.
All my fuckery.
And we talked
Yeah,
about
literally
this from
things he
season
said.
1.
Yeah,
Sharissa,
Yeah, like me and
You know,
Patrice
buy
have
that.
been. It's just
I would buy
we
it.
did,
And I
the
never
time.
went into fruition.
I think
the
now,
time is now.
The time is
Yeah,
now.
we're
Now that
slacking.
this is built, I feel
Yeah.
like now we're in a time where we can explore different shit.
Yes,
now, you know.
100%.
And
So
like
yeah,
I
I
had
get
to
what you're
develop
saying
the
because
ground.
everything will be under Humble Productions, right? Just like in
Yeah.
concert
Yes.
or SMR Vibes, like
Yes.
that was one spin-off of
Yeah.
like
And,
what.
and all those are
Coming
like
soon.
potential to
They don't know.
like again people can pay for those.
yeah, right.
Right? So that's something for you guys. You guys just got that's
Okay,
great.
I
Right?
get what you're saying.
And even on
Thank
that,
you for that.
Think
Yeah.
about the way of community, right? We are so single-minded.
And
I
community.
want to do it by myself, or if I do it with you, I might lose some. Nah, bro. If we do it together,
Yeah.
we'll get there faster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Right?
And a lot of people are scared of working with other people. Like I am
Yes.
not going to lie. I
Can
was
I
one of
mention
those
on
people.
that? It's not a lot of people. It's a lot of our people. It's not people. They've been doing it. It's us.
Say it again. Say that
Yeah,
again.
that's
for
what's
the-
holding
say
us
that
back.
again.
And that's
Our
why
people.
that's why they are where they are, and the Indians are there where they are.
Yeah, they were
Chinese.
Black people live in fear.
Yeah, we live in fear.
We are,
Unfortunately,
It's
It's
Yeah.
because we're still enslaved.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
mentally. Yes.
We're mentally. It was
Systematically.
like, you know,
Yeah,
Systemically?
mentally, systematically.
Yeah.
to this
Oh,
day,
Lord.
right? I have an opportunity, and I'm not going to show you because if you do it better than me, I'll have less.
I'll lose my
Yeah,
opportunity.
that's
And
how
then
we
no
think.
one ends up even taking
And then we
on
don't
that
do it in the first
opportunity.
place.
Yeah.
And it's just sitting
In
there.
No,
every
someone
industry.
does. It just wasn't us.
Yeah.
It's the white folk.
That's someone.
Anyone.
It's the Chinese folk, it's
Anyone
the
that's
brown
not
folk, right? So in our community specifically, I feel like a lot of these issues that we talk about are actually our issues and not issues.
And nobody else is.
Yeah, there are issues because we haven't fixed the problem.
Yeah, we
The
just
problem
complain
is,
about it.
It's our education. It's we're mad at the system, so we don't utilize it.
Yeah.
Why? It's there for us to utilize,
It's like we should be making the system our bitch.
Our bitch.
but we don't because we're
Payback.
still mad. You guys did this to us, so we're not gonna play with you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play. You guys don't have to. But when I'm with
I'm
them,
playing still. Who else
start
is in?
playing.
Yeah.
It's
It's a
because when
fun
we
game.
do start playing with them, they call us like Uncle Toms or like whitewashed and shit.
Yes,
Who cares?
and this is
I
the
don't care
thing.
about
Yeah,
that.
we don't care, but I'm just saying like that's how
That's
like
their
people.
That's the narrative.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're sellout.
Yeah, you're sellout.
okay,
Exactly.
yeah.
When we put our foot into the door and shit. And, like,
you're
And
broke.
really start
Yeah.
And I'm not.
pushing things.
So for that note, all you have to do for those people is shift their paradigm because from the place they're coming from, they're looking at it as now I'm not good enough to hang with you. It's not that you're an Uncle Tom. It's just that you're an Uncle Sam. You're taxing me now because for me to be with you, I need to do more. You're going on all these trips and you can do these things and I can't. So I feel like less and I won't.
Yeah.
Right?
Period.
Shift their mindset or let
I'm not
go.
receiving the
Yeah.
crumble of the cookie. Like, no longer doing that.
Yeah, so make
I
it
want the whole
a
thing.
possibility for them.
Yeah,
It's
we don't want
possible for you,
crumbs.
We don't want crumbs.
possible for me.
we don't want the butt bread.
Yeah.
The butt bread.
I said that to my stepdad once, and he was like,
the
"You
end
think
of
you're
the-
rich?"
End of the list.
He's like, "You think you're rich? You can just not eat the bread that's butt bread?"
What'd you say?
I said,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
Yeah.
Touch me.
Who even eats that?
It's a lifestyle.
Touch me. You are
Who
rich.
the hell eats that? I feed that to the birds outside.
It's a lifestyle.
And it's interesting
Bird
on that
food.
note because we do have the people around us wanting to hold. It's like the crabs in the basket scenario, right? If we start elevating, they start telling us why we can't. You're this, so you can't be that. Listen, I'm this now, and I was that because I elevated. And you're mad because I didn't stay down, and it's okay. I'm gonna raise you too. You feel me?
Is that the bell?
shout out to
Why did you break your neck though?
I was like, is she having a
No,
seizure?
It's gonna make sense. I was really shaking and
Great.
shit.
That was
That was
a
good.
great little segue.
Shot a clock to that because I think that just learning about credit, learning about just expanding your mind and knowing that you can literally attain anything you want. Just like you, thank you for even telling us now, like me working 5 years at Dairy Queen, you know, I could have invested into something else.
You could
Yeah, I
have
was
bought
like,
the
that
Dairy
was really
Queen
nice.
stock.
Exactly.
Nice.
I could
You
have.
spent 5 years there.
Yeah, I could have.
Yeah, I'm about to drink tequila. So.
Okay.
You know, I was in
Choose
the
fine.
kitchen whipping up the ice cream cake.
Yeah, you were
So I
Dairy
believed
Queen.
in it.
Oh,
Yeah,
did.
I believed in
Yeah,
the
I
cakes.
fucking love ice cream
Yeah.
cake.
So
And it's
no,
true.
thank you. Like,
Especially for
use
Dairy Queen.
credit.
Dairy Queen's so good.
Use credit to build a bigger empire for yourself.
What do we say when we do something good? Give me my credit. Go get your credit.
Yep. But what is the key? What is the key to like
Building credit or any of that.
when you're starting to build your credit and you're investing the credit into something that you want to build for
Okay.
yourself. Okay, guys. When you're investing the credit into something that you want to build for yourself, how do you know like how to make the money back like 5 times?
So
Like
Wait,
is
what?
There, like is there a strategy or is that
There's
just
strategy.
a stupid question?
No, I get what you're saying. It's not a stupid question. There's no such thing.
Thank you.
Because your questions are from your current understanding, and in order for those to be broken, you have to ask the questions you don't understand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
So there's no such thing. There's only such thing as when you're being stupid purposely. That's stupid. But on the note of how do you know? I always say start with the information because it's interesting, right? Say you were to start with the information, we'd be having a different conversation because it wouldn't be how do I know? It'd be what's better. Should I go this route or this route? Is it this credit or this credit company, right? Because then you'll know which ones will give you more benefits, more points, more rewards for actions that you will take already in your life. So it's simply about doing the research so you know where to go that's going to serve you best. Because
Yeah.
they all serve you in different ways. It's just what's best for you. But they all serve.
Just do your research.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Right? Because you don't want to get like, if you are
don't wanna
trying to
trap
take
yourself.
a credit out, like a line of credit, for instance, right? To build your own business, like line of credits, they start interest starts right away as
Yep.
soon as you spend that dollar, right? So it's like, just look at how much interest is it going to be for me to take out this 50,000 line of credit, and how much time or how much time am I giving myself to pay back that line of credit, right? Because it's
gotta
not going to
have a
be, you're not
plan.
paying back 50,000. It's going to be however much that interest is.
exactly.
And that's the same note when you asked earlier, good credit, bad credit. It's what credit is going to be taking from you and what credit is going to be giving to you. Because if it's taking from you, it's not good.
So what's like an average interest rate that like the average person would be like, okay, this is a decent interest rate?
So credit for Canada, I think average starts at like 19%.
Yeah,
Okay.
17 or
Right?
18. to be honest, but-
I know it sounds crazy, but that's only if you're missing your payments. So why are you even broke enough to miss your payments?
Okay.
Or
Right?
why are you
And
taking out that credit if you can't?
exactly.
pay
And
back?
then on that note, that is going back to the earlier paradigm of you haven't even changed yet because you're still deficiting yourself. So you're still not utilizing it.
So if you guys are going to take one thing from this conversation, it is a research. Do your research so you guys
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and you don't end up fucked by the system.
Yeah. And
That's
look
what the
at
system wants to do. It wants to fuck you.
and look at what
It's
you
almost like a
believe in.
nigga.
Yeah.
But I also want to say, like, if you are someone who had bad credit watching or listening, just know like there's also a route to get out of that too. I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of people think when they get into bad credit, they're like, oh my god, my
That's
life is
it.
over.
Yeah.
But I've met a lot of people who had bad credit and they're fucking laughing now.
And
Yeah.
Someone I want to
Payment
shout out
plan,
for
babe.
credit, just so you guys can always look. Him 500. He's American, so some of the information you're gonna have to change for yourself. But Marcus Barney, amazing.
On that
Add
note,
him.
We'll list him down there too.
Not over the laptop.
Not over the
guys.
laptop. Shot o'clock.
shot o'clock.
Is this still recording? Okay, so something quick that I actually wanted to bring to this platform, just to leave with everyone, is just a thought. So I have the althies, alities, and ologies, and they really all mix, right? So alities is working synergistically with your mentality and reality, because a lot of people's mentality doesn't actually match the reality, and that's the problem.
Yep, that's why we're getting stuck.
Yeah. So mentality and reality, they need to synergistically move together. Ologies, I would say astrology, psychology, because the astrology will let you know the history of where we come from, and then the psychology will give you the modern day words. So work there, because the psychology of what you are determines what you move. So if you don't have a good psychology, you won't be able to even start this game. So start there first. And then we have the healthies, and those are the wealthies and healthies, because if you're not wealthy, you can't be healthy, because the system requires wealth. And if, on that note of healthy, people who look at wealth as something to be looked down upon aren't even healthy, because they haven't done that work for themselves to realize they deserve that. So healthies, alities, ologies.
Love that.
I love
I
that.
love that. That's
That
a
was
great,
amazing.
great ending. Nice.
I love Brittany's reaction. We should do like whole reads of everyone's reaction.
Like repeat at the same time, like. I was not saying
Me and
anything.
Donnie were like, Thank you for coming on. I actually had one more question
Yo,
though.
hit me.
Or actually two, because
Spin the block.
Patrice mentioned the TFSA account.
Yes. Oh, yes. I did want to touch on that.
So I kind of wanted to touch on like insurance and how important insurance is. Do you cover that as well? Because
Yes.
a lot of Black people, I think that a lot of
Life insurance.
the wealthy are wealthy because of life insurance.
Yes,
It's
so-
old money.
What generational wealth is? It's life insurance.
Life insurance, bro.
It's what it is. They die and then they pass down millions, and it becomes into the family trust. So a lot of these older families, they have dynasties or trusts set up. So that means that I'm born into this rich family and I can't mess up their bread because I can't spend it all. So they have me on a SOP. So a lot of families who work as a dynasty or something like that, they have a plan to gain structure and create that generational wealth. They have family standards of operation, so SOPs within the family. So they have rules and guideships that you have to follow in order to get that wealth. So it's not like, oh, you're born here, you get it. You can mess it up. The work that I've done for the future generations, it's like you have to do the work, add to the pool, and then you can get some out. And that's what we don't have.
Work
And
for
we
it.
definitely don't have even like I feel like that understanding.
Life insurance is
You
important.
do now.
Yeah.
Trust funds are important.
Yeah.
Putting away money for our kids is important,
Huge.
right?
Please.
Did you guys know you could start stocks for your kids today?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
know
can
what?
start
You're
stocks for a
right.
fetus
Shit.
in the womb. It's
Baby,
real.
I got you.
Right? And you can start with $10. Say your
When I
kid.
have it.
Do you have
What if
something
we
to
had
say,
the
Shamsa?
opportunity to graduate at 18? 40K.
Yeah, I wish my
easy.
fam did that.
That's
Oh, I
what my
wish.
sister's actually doing for her
Good.
niece right now.
As she
I think they
should.
put
And-
like
Her daughter, your niece.
for whatever. It's liquor.
You had
Basically.
screenshots, baby.
No, it's
No, it's
so.
super important though.
No,
Like,
Yeah,
it
they
is,
just
yeah.
put like each of them, like the grandparents and them, they just put money away each month, and by the time she's like 18, she's gonna have a lot of money.
Well, that would be for school. Like,
and I think that a lot
If she
of
goes to
our
school.
generation
start a
is
business.
doing
Yeah.
She
that.
might start a business.
Yeah,
yeah, you
Right?
can still start a
We're
business and go to
shifting.
school.
No,
right?
but we're shifting, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
She
and
doesn't
it's
go to
not even gonna be a
school.
thing by the time she grows
Whatever
up.
she wants to do with
It
it.
probably
doing
won't
shit.
be.
On
It
that
probably
note of
won't be.
school, right? We have to actually look at where the school system started, right? It's
Yeah.
a class system. It's a class system for the average worker. So school isn't to teach you to think. It's to teach you to stop thinking and just do. So it's not like when you're creative, what do they do to you in school?
That's wrong.
Right? Because they don't want you to create. They need
That's
you.
not how I said
Yeah.
to do it. Do it
Right,
this way.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
when
Like-
school came into our actual system, it came with the workforce. So school is for workers. If you want your kid to be an innovator, I'm not saying don't send them to school, but don't send them to school like it's gonna give them that innovation because it won't. It'll
Yeah, they're
kill
just
it,
gonna be working.
Yeah.
right? So
Look at
it's-
us.
right?
Yeah, everybody.
What? Look at us,
Everybody.
what?
I just think of that picture, and it was like it's a tree, and the monkeys in the
Yeah.
tree, and the elephant and the giraffe are all like on the ground, and they're like, the monkey's like, "What? You guys can't climb a tree?" And it was like they're comparing it to school.
The
Yeah, what did it
exam.
say?
The
Yes.
exam was
Yeah. Yeah,
climb a
I've seen
tree.
that.
And
Oh,
if you
yeah.
can climb the tree, you'll
You
pass the
pass.
class.
Yeah.
And they're saying that's what the
School
educational
system's
system
like.
is like.
Yeah.
Yes, the educational
Facts.
system is simply about memorization. It's not about creativity.
Yeah.
It's not create, it's memorize. So I'm giving you what you should know in life, not what you know from what you got here. So I'm killing your individuality so you can fit in to the system. And then your spark's gone. So actually cultivate that spark in your kid. Send them to school, that's fine. But cultivate that individuality.
Yeah, let them
and
know that.
Let them know that they can have their own business. They don't have to work a job.
Oh my
They have
gosh,
options.
man.
Let them know
They
they
have options.
Yeah.
Because we grew up.
I wish we knew that.
We need
Yeah,
a job.
right?
You don't need a job. Actually, you can start a business in elementary school.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah,
Start a
Yes.
business in high school. You can always start a business. You can cut grass. You can. You don't need
So
to.
many examples out there.
My niece, she's 7, and she sells candy for $1.
Exactly.
She's smart.
Outside of school.
She's smart.
Encourage that.
Hustler.
Encourage that.
She is. She's a hustler.
And that's I was just about to say. I think that parents encourage your children. Like they
Facts.
don't have to work basic jobs. Don't make them doubt anything. Don't make them feel like they're
Shout
going
out
the
my
wrong
brother.
way. Just encourage them, lift them up, support them, and the more you support them, the further they will go. Because it's harder when you have a child, and you don't believe in what they're doing, and then they know that, and then
Yeah.
it's just like they're in their room, just fucking depressed.
On that
Yeah.
note, can we actually think about all those kids whose parents gave them, whose parents actually gave them the basement to do their thing?
Yeah.
We have so much friends with basement businesses,
Yeah,
and they're
home
thriving.
businesses.
They're
Yeah,
thriving. As individuals, they're happy, and their businesses are good. Why? They had the support.
yeah. They were
Yeah.
given that open field to just do.
And they'll
Kinda
never
just
work a
do.
job.
them.
They'll never work a job. No one's gonna tell them when to go to the washroom, when they'll get
Yeah.
paid, when they can pay their bills, when they can actually go on vacation. They actually live their life for themselves.
yeah.
That's a beautiful. That's freedom.
That's what I'm striving for.
That is freedom. And on that
Manifest.
note, thank you so much, Janelle, for coming on the show.
Yes.
I hope that you guys learned so much from this episode. Leave
If
your
you're still
comments.
enlightened.
If you have any concerns, questions for Janelle, leave your comments in the comment box below. And in the meantime, we will be back next Thursday or whenever for you next week. And in the meantime,
Take a shot.
Nice to meet y'all.